Hey, grade 9. So we just finished up our class for today for chapters 11 and 12. And so I'm just going to go into that right now. And then we'll do 13, 15 tomorrow. So let's get into chapter summaries. Press pause if you need to. And so I already discussed this in class. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But we learn a little more about sameness and what the community had to give up in order to have sameness. And we learn about the first memory that was transmitted from the current receiver memory to Jonas, and we find out that the current receiver memory wants to be identified as the giver. So now we have Jonas, the receiver memory, and the giver. So we have our characters now officially identified. And then we are told about the pain again, that Jonas was told that he was going to be experiencing pain and being alone. And so he figures the sunburn is the pain. And the giver says, nope, that's not the pain. And he doesn't want to go into great detail at this time because he does want to scare Jonas off, and especially make the same mistake that was made with the receiver memory that was before Jonas, that eventually failed. And then in chapter 12, he tries to dream that dream of sledding, but he doesn't share it with the family because he doesn't have to, because it's against his rules. But he knows that going down that hill on a sled is going to lead to an amazing destination, and it's going to be a destination of happiness and stuff like that. But he can't see it right now because he doesn't have the words or the way to describe it, that precise language. And even though we have precise language in this community, Jonas also has to have precise language in order to identify and describe certain things. So if you're describing a red apple, you would have to be very precise on shape, size, the stem, all kinds of different aspects in order to identify that to someone who does not know what an apple looks like. Okay, so very precise language. And I gave the example of describing scenes to a person who has lost her sight. So there's that articulation. He has to learn these words. And again, he has a good feeling about the dream, but he doesn't know what that emotion is yet either, because he's still trying to figure that out. And the last slide, at school, he feels alienated, and he's alone, and he was told he's going to be alone because his level of training is way above everybody else. Everybody else can talk about what they want, but Jonas doesn't have anybody to talk to except for the giver now. So he does feel isolated. And we saw the change of color from the apple, turning from gray to red back to gray. We saw the audience changing from gray to multicolored to gray. And now we see Fiona's hair going from gray to red back to gray. And the red color is quite common, and the giver explains why it's so common. And that's why we finished the chapter off with the giver wanting to show a memory of the rainbow. Okay, and we do find a little more about again about what was given up in order to have a community of sameness. And the quote for question 18, what does the giver mean when he says we gain control of many things, but we had to let go of others? And how does Jonas respond? So it's like, if you want something better, you're going to have to give up something. And we do see that in our world today. And but then when you give that up, it's hard to get it back. So that's why you need to be careful of what you give up, and in a way, we should also be grateful for what we have as well, because once you give up something, you can't get it back. Or when you do get it back, it's maybe not the same as it was when you first had it. So keep that in mind as well, okay, as we continue with this book. So other than that, TED Talks, you can keep working on that, and we discuss different ways of presenting that through Google Meet or through recorded video, please let me know. And if you need to drop your projects off in person, drop it off at the main office with your summaries. Otherwise, you can upload images and attachments for your summaries through email preferably, or through Google Classroom, but be sure you wait till it's uploaded and you see a screenshot of that attachment before you close out. All right, so other than that, we'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Take care, be safe.